everyone, welcome back. I am Lover's Lance.
And I'm Morik. Today we're venturing into a dark world full of secrets, danger, and romance.
Today with us is Lamb, the creative mind behind Demonheart: The Cursed Trial, a new visual novel that throws you into deadly infernal game of trust, betrayal, and passion. Lamb, welcome. We're happy that you're here today. Can you tell us a bit about your story as a developer?
Hi, thank you for having me here. So I started gaming in my early teens. My brother introduced me to video games. I liked everything epic fantasy. So some of my favorite games were Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Neverwinter Nights. I was really drawn to that, but I found that games back then were more geared toward a male audience. And I wanted there to be more romances for female players, and that's why I kind of started developing my own content. So I started with modding. I published some modules for Neverwinter Nights. They were also the Demonheart series. And eventually there was this idea to convert the story into a standalone game. And well, today I have like 5 games published on Steam, so it's been nice.
You've quite liked the setting, I see.
Well, like...
Demons are like a never-ending content creation place, so...
Demons.
Yeah,
people love demons for some reason.
Yeah. For some reason. I don't know what is that
For
reason.
some reason, like, I didn't even understand how popular demons were when I started. I was just like, well, I wanted to add a demon character. And then he was like the most popular character in my games.
Understandable. He looks
they're
amazing.
A whole trope now.
Oh.
It's a trope. We're gonna talk about your demons a little bit later on to the podcast. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey for you, starting with modding and now doing your own games. So, are you a solo developer?
Yes, I do solo work, like I commission artists and voice actors. I also direct the voice actors, so I do a lot of things.
So, jack of all trades.
Well, yeah, I try to do everything myself, which is not always a good idea.
Well, it turns out great. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it turns out great, I could say.
Can you share with our listeners what The Cursed Trial is all about?
Okay, so it is a mix of murder, mystery, and romance. And I know that's strange, but I like when romance develops in the middle of some really, like, dramatic plot. So there has to be a big story, and then there will be romance in the middle of it. In The Cursed Trial, the main character is a Demonheart. That means she either ate someone else's heart, or she was somehow tricked into becoming this, like, cursed creature. She's a little paranoid, trying to protect her secret. And then she is thrown into a ruined settlement that she can't escape, and people start dying. So, like, in the middle of all of this, 2 guys fall in love with her, which is, like, the most important part for us.
I love that setting. I think it's not the first time I've seen murder mystery mixed with a romance, but I do think the concepts mesh surprisingly well because, as you said, the life and death situations kind of get the emotions boiling up to the surface.
Yes, it's, like, intense.
Yes.
You can manage to, like, have a real interaction with the characters. You can see them in different situations. How do they react when they're under pressure or... they're scared and stuff like that, so it's quite emotional, and I love the mix as well.
Yeah, maybe this whole, like, scary setting is what makes them feel their emotions more intensely and fall in love.
Yep.
And while we're on the topic, we also saw that you have plenty of other games set in the same universe. Can you tell us a bit about the backstory there? How do they connect with this one?
Okay, so I started with mods, and then I made the first Demonheart game, which is like the same story from my modding days. The second game is Demonheart Hunters, and it's the direct sequel. And then there is the Ice Demon. That's sort of a prequel, and it kind of features Raze's origin story. Like, the demon spawn Raze was not born yet, but we learned something about him and some witches who were involved in his life. And then the Cursed Trial is based on this idea that there are people who are demon hearts, they are dangerous to each other, and they are trapped together in this crazy village, and everyone is paranoid. So it's it happens in the same universe, but it's a standalone game. Like there are a lot of references to the other games, but you can totally play it on its own.
So you don't need to have experienced the other games to know what's going on. It's just a sweet little bonus when you catch the references.
Yes.
So we don't have like reoccurring characters in your previous games, or?
So the demon spawn, like he
him.
pretty much appears in almost all of them, and he mentions some of the old characters.
Okay. So you kind of explained what the main character is in the Cursed Trio, and as far as I understand it, we play as a girl with demonic heart, trapped with some strangers and hunted for what she is, so she has to like be very careful about not mentioning her demon origins. And I wanted to ask you what actually inspired you to write this story. You blended quite a lot of genres there. We mentioned the scary and the romantic part. So, yeah, is it the Baldur's Gate? Is it like the previous gaming experience you had? Or movies, books?
Yes, it was Baldur's Gate and also the Danganronpa games. I really liked the setting, like the characters were trapped in a facility and dying one by one. And for some reason, like these death games, I really like them. And I like that you have a murder mystery and the killer is one of the characters that you've already met. But here there are like multiple killers. And there's also the influence from RPGs with an alignment system and dialogue options.
I was kind of expecting that you'd mention that particular game as your inspiration, because I was like, wait, what other famous visual novels have a death game where you need to catch the killer in it? And then, wait a minute.
But it's not quite the same. But
Yes.
I try to make something similar.
It's it's a genre of its own, dev games. There's quite a bit I can think of actually that fall into that category. Even the tabletop game Werewolf is technically that.
Mm-hmm. I like that as well.
I also can't help but notice the Dungeons and Dragons inspiration. You already mentioned Baldur's Gate. But how did you approach the world building for the game itself?
Okay, I started from this medieval fantasy world, because that's what I like in general. And it has some dark elements, like the royal family is corrupt and knights are evil, things like that. And yes, there has been a lot of influence from like Dungeons and Dragons settings. In Baldur's Gate 2, the Throne of Baal, there were Baalspawn who were children of a god and they had to eliminate one another until only one was left. And I really liked that idea. That was a huge inspiration for Demonhearts in general. And I developed the rules about their powers over time. In the early days, like I would pace around and ask myself questions to solve any logic problems by establishing the rules about what the characters can or can't do. And one of my guiding principles has been to not give the characters too many magical powers, or it would raise some logic questions like, why didn't they just do that? And
What?
so,
I get that.
I like having a soft magic system. Like, magic is mysterious.
I haven't actually played the first two Baldur's Gate games, but now that you mentioned that plot point with the Baalspawn, I'm quite intrigued. It does sound similar, even the name itself, Baalspawn.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's from the God of Murder, I think?
Yes, and it's kind of also mentioned in Baldur's Gate 3. You can also be a Baalspawn, but not always.
I need to finish that game.
I can't get myself enough time to make another playthrough, but the first playthrough I did in Baldur's Gate 3 took me 144 hours, and I cried a lot in the end.
Oh,
So I'm not ready for another playthrough, but we're talking with my boyfriend that this autumn we're gonna try again and invest 2 months of our lives in it again. So yeah. I'm getting back to the topic of the Cursed Trio. I wanted to talk about the characters we get to meet in the demo. So we've got a pretty eclectic mix there. A guard, a soldier, a witch, a bard, a librarian, and two supposed criminals, and the shadow daddy at the end. Yeah. What can you tell us about each of them?
Oh, okay. So the guard, Ran, he was meant to be like a nice guy love interest. Although, like in my games, no one is really that nice. And he has a dark side of him. He's a bit depressed in a mysterious way. And he's in love with the main character. And then there is the royal soldier, Leona. She is like very rigid and strict. Everything has to be done properly. She tries to do the right thing. And I think she was willing to work with the main character for a while, but then something happened. We don't want to talk about spoilers. The Red Witch, she's like all cute and nice, or is she? Like some players believe her, some don't. The old bard was also supposed to be shady but likable. He openly admires demons, so he's a bit questionable, but like he's also nice, like he sings to us. Okay.
Yeah, but that makes him more suspicious, if you ask me.
Well, I try to make multiple characters suspicious. Then there is the librarian, Kaiser. He's the other love interest. And some players call him a rat or a trash raccoon. So if you like... Yeah, some of us like that. And there's also Bane. He won't tell anyone who he is or what he does for a living, but he falls in love with the Red Witch. And he turns out to be a decent person, I think. And the second criminal, she says she's a merchant, but she's actually a bandit. And she likes to tag along with the main character. And apparently she's quickly grown to trust the main character, but we don't know why. And Shadow Daddy... Okay. Should we talk about him?
It's an official term. Don't laugh.
It's an actual trope. It's an actual trope if you look it up.
Yeah, that's
really?
how they...
Yes.
That's how they actually... You know all of these books that the fantasy kind of romantic novels that are on the market? So there's always this bad guy that he's actually very sexy, and they call him, that trope, this type of character, they call him Shadow Daddy. And the moment I saw the character, I was like, this is the Shadow Daddy of the story, come on.
Well, he's sexy, but like, he's not your daddy in this story.
Damn! Okay, I'm gonna try to get over that. So I have a little comment on Ran. So you said that he's a nice guy, and I usually don't like the nice guys in the stories, but this time he was my choice from the first moment I saw him. And I find this quite interesting, because you mentioned that he's mysterious and quite sad. Maybe that's why I find him more likable than the other nice guys tropes that I've seen in visual novels. So,
well, I don't like nice guys either. So I tried not to make him like boring or something. I tried to add some traits to him that like would make him kind of dark, so he's not completely nice, but he's not as bad as some other guys that we can romance in my games.
Yeah, and I think that you did a great job there with writing
Thanks.
this character. And also Kaiser, like, he would fall in my typical toxic relationship choice that I would make in a game like that, but for some reason I dislike him so much. I don't know why. Like he's like, I like him,
yeah.
but he's sleeky, you know.
So
Official term.
you either love or hate him. Like it happens, and it fits in this fantasy world as well. Like he thinks that everyone hates him, so maybe it's no wonder that some players hate him. But then I kind of achieved what I wanted, because some players really love him. So players are divided.
Yeah. I just find it funny that it's other way around for me this time. So you did some great writing here, because like you completely changed my perspective of the characters. Like I didn't expect to end up like that with my choices.
Well, that's nice. You can dislike the character, but still like the game.
Yeah.
I give you that choice. You can hate him totally.
I'm not saying that the character is written bad or anything. Like, actually, the contrary. The character is written very well, and it makes me, I'm scared of you. Just don't talk to me, please. Yeah. So it's the character itself, like the way he talks and the way he acts, like
He's supposed to be weird, yes.
So you did great job there as well.
And while we're on the topic of characters, our protagonist, the girl with the demon heart who seemingly can't die, can you tell us more about her?
Okay, I wanted to give players some freedom in how they like to imagine their character, like, so she can be good, evil, pleasant, rude, but she's somehow like smart and a bit cunning always. She's the product of the kind of world that she lives in, and she either ate a demonic heart or some demon flesh in the past to become a demon heart, or like someone tricked her into eating it. So I wanted to leave it up to the player to imagine what exactly happened in her backstory. But she used to live in a little village, minding her own business, keeping her dark secrets, and she would sometimes join the local militia, and I guess in Dungeons and Dragons she would be a fighter. Like she can fight, but like she's not a professional soldier.
So we don't get to know actually what happened to her in the full game?
Yes, you're supposed to invent what happened to her, like whatever you choose.
That's quite interesting. Now, actually, did you mention that she's a fighter in the game? Would be a fighter in D&D terms. I wonder what class the other characters would be. Some are obvious, like the bard.
The bard.
The bard.
Yeah, and Bane would be a barbarian.
Yeah.
And Kaiser would be like a rogue, probably.
Probably a rogue.
Yeah.
Vita would
And
probably
Vita?
also be a rogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different
And-
No,
subclasses.
Kaiser could be a warlock as well, by the way.
I don't see him use magic though.
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's the whole vision of like wearing purple jacket and everything. I don't know.
Well, he dresses like one.
He dressed like one, and he like librarian and books and.
Well, yes, he's like smart. He thinks he's very intelligent, but in this world, like most people can't use magic. So yeah,
Ran is probably also a fighter.
yeah, and Leona is a paladin.
Of course.
Yes.
And for Zhenya, it's obvious.
Sorcerer?
She's a
Wizard.
wizard.
Like, yeah.
Wizard.
Oh, sorcerer, probably.
I don't know, was she born with the magic or did she learn it?
Oh, it's like you're born with magic potential, but it's like
Uh-huh.
that for all the witches.
Okay, so maybe either.
Yeah.
So, you already told me that the Shadow Daddy is not a romanceable option in the game, but tell me that you're considering making him a DLC. I bet that I'm not the only one.
Oh, DLC. Well, I haven't really thought about it. It would have to change the story like a lot because he's supposed to keep you trapped there. So it's like if he falls in love with you, he will just release you or something.
Oh no! That sounds like how was it it's called? The syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. It could be a Stockholm Syndrome type of
Well,
thing.
I can see why some players would want that. But he is a romance option in the first Demonheart and in Demonheart Hunters. And I'm planning to make a new game where he will also like probably be a love interest.
Okay. I'm okay now. I can.
She's
I can
satisfied.
I can live my life.
Also, there seems to be some flirting between Vita and the main character. Is there potential for that to go further in a future update or DLC, or do you plan on sticking with the just two love interests?
So I used to have plans for more flirting or maybe an adult content patch. It was supposed to include Vita and possibly Jania as well. But really, since the game left early access, there hasn't really been much player interest about that, so I'm not planning it at the moment. And people are like mostly talking about the endings and whether they love or hate Kaiser.
Seems to be a main point of conversation.
Oh yeah, there were some spoilery questions about Vita, but I don't want to talk about that now.
Okay, fair enough. Let's not spoil anything.
We're not gonna dig there. That's fine. We're gonna move to the gameplay part of the game now. So, can you tell us about the mechanics you used in the game? I really enjoyed the interactive exploration mode. That's what I can say.
I thought there should be something to break up the text, kinda. Maybe because I came from playing RPGs, and I didn't know if it would be too much text at once. So I added some interactive elements. We had this in the first Demonheart game as well. You have exploration when you enter a certain area and you're given a choice to read descriptions of some objects, or you can skip them. And there are also like anagram mini games. They're called Demon Speech, and you rearrange letters. I always try to make both the starting words and the solution something relevant to fit the mood of the game. And you can also skip those, and in the cursed trial, if you skip like the first anagram, or one other character will solve it.
That's interesting. So even if you're not doing it, the other characters can be smart enough to actually solve them themselves.
Yes,
They're actual people that can do things. That's actually quite cool.
Like a real party, you know?
Yes, like a real party.
Or just to show you that they can.
Yes.
And what about the alignment system? When you choose a certain dialogue option, we saw that there's a little prompt on the right corner of our screen. Can you tell us how does that work?
Well, I wrote the choices. Like when I'm writing, I want to write multiple choices, and then when I'm playtesting, I add some more. And yes, you get some points: good, evil, tactful, or defiant for picking some dialogue options. You can bring up the character screen to check your current alignment, and there are different expressions that represent your character and how she generally looks like. So depending on your choices, the characters will sometimes comment on your alignment. Like if you are good and tactful, Ran will say, like, you have such a charming presence. Or Kaiser will say, she's so irrationally nice. And sometimes the narration will also change because it's giving us the main character's thoughts. So sometimes, I don't know, she will think, oh, these poor people have died. But if she's evil, then she won't think like that.
Quite nice. That gives you a lot of replayability of the game.
Yeah, if you want to be an asshole the first game, but a kind person the second time through.
Yeah.
I do really like that you can play the main character however you like, carrying code, manipulative or self-sacrificing. How did you balance the meaningful choices with the narrative?
Well, yes, balancing is difficult because like the story has to get to the end, and this is the longest visual novel I've published, and there were really some plot twists that I wanted to include at the end, so like your early choices couldn't really take you far away from that same kind of ending, but there are multiple endings. So I can't really branch the story early if I intend to get to that special plot twist. And even though there are many small choices, the game has to follow a certain direction. And yeah, I can't like make all those hundreds of choices have serious consequences, but I like having the option to express my opinion when I'm playing. So yeah, I hope players will appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the multiple endings. Are they like wildly different depending on your alignment and choices in the game? I mean, you said that you can't make 100 different endings based on your 100 different choices in the dialogue system, but you know, like for the general alignment, is it like wildly different, the ending?
Oh, well, for alignment, the endings aren't different. It just adds like this flavor text all throughout the game where the characters are commenting on what you're like. And when I was designing the multiple endings, the first thing that I had to take into account was, are you romancing Kaiser, Ran, or no one? So that's 3 possible endings, but then there are some variations. And there are some characters who could be dead or alive, depending on your choices.
That's always hard, like balancing the dead or alive characters thing in a game, because if a character dies, you have to always take into account that a character might die and how much they can affect the story from that point onwards has to be limited in the event, even if they survive. I've seen a lot of games, story-based games, where not all of the cast survives have this problem. So it's quite hard to balance, I've noticed.
Yes, it's also difficult to test the game then, because you have to write all these different scenarios, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't really add much to the experience when you have 2 different choices, but one choice is to just skip this character entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wouldn't skip any of the characters. Like, they're all so fleshed out and charming, and even my favorite librarian, even him.
Oh.
So, I think it's time to talk about aesthetics. The art has kind of a signature look to it, especially the backgrounds have this dark, lush and dramatic feeling to them, and the characters look amazing. What was your visual direction for the game this time around?
Well, we started from the place where this is all happening. It's an abandoned, scary village. And, well, I guess when I described that to the background artist, we got, like, this dark aesthetic, like ruined buildings. I really love it.
I do really love how the village looks. It's like something out of a almost fantasy horror or a dark fantasy setting.
Yes, I was going for that look. And for the characters, well, we also went for like a dark style. So Ren is dark and mysterious. The main character ended up as a goth girl. But I also wanted her to look smart and cunning and potentially dangerous. And Kaiser, that was like interesting because I described him to the artist as a guy who thinks he is ugly, but he is a love interest. So it's supposed to be possible for players to like him, but he thinks that everyone hates him and he's ugly and he has a scar on his face.
I actually like him visually very much. I don't know. It's not the visual that turns me off there.
Oh, it's his personality.
He looks cool.
Tongue. Yeah, he looks cool. Definitely.
It's when whenever he does that with his tongue. Some of the characters. I think Vito said it in game that he looks like an idiot when he does that.
Yeah, I like to trash my own characters.
I have to agree with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you about the dialogue. So some of it is voiced. And how did you decide which moments get the voice line?
Oh man, it was a lot of work. Like, I went for partial voice acting because that's what I've always done in my games. I imagine that full voice acting is more work, but maybe it actually isn't. I don't know, because I sat there for days, like, extracting the voice lines. I printed out the whole script. And in the end, I kind of tried to have voice lines whenever a character first appeared in a scene. And there was also, like, some special scenes and some lines that I thought would be interesting. Also, I think near the end, there are more voiced lines.
I never thought about how hard actually would be deciding where to put them.
I think it's harder than having everything voiced, but at the same time it's cheaper.
The decision making is harder, definitely.
Yeah, and also to figure out a voice line that can fit on multiple places.
Yes.
Yeah, and if something is like badly recorded or something, I don't even have to ask for retakes. I can just skip it, and it still gives me the freedom to edit most of the text, which is not voiced.
Yeah, that's the thing
true.
I've thought about. Normally, you'd have to wait till the entire game is finished to start doing the voice lines, because if you happen to like decide to change what the character says last minute, well, now that voice line is unusable.
Yes.
So I want to talk about a bit the community in the release about the game for the game. It's out on itch.io's Steam, and there's also a DLC, even like Kaiser's muzzle, which is hilarious, by the way, and the art book. What has the fan reception been so far since the release?
Well, there has been a lot of activity on Discord during the early access and after the full release, and I'm very happy about that. It was really fun to talk to the players while I was still developing the game, because that's, I'm most engaged in it while I'm still writing it, and then reading their theories and seeing if they love or hate a certain character. It has been really inspiring. And they even made some memes. I love that. There were jokes like...
That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have a pretty, lovable and supporting community to your games.
Yes, the community has been amazing, like supportive. Like I go there and complain and they say, you got this, don't stress out. Yeah, they have been really supportive.
Very cute. Very cute. And I have like this question here. Did any comment or a theory actually change the story and development?
Oh, I would have to think about that. But like a lot of players were asking for Ren to turn psycho. Well, he didn't turn psycho, not so much. But like, I added some endings that I don't want to talk about because it's a spoiler. But like,
you can just dance around the topic,
Well, knowing the players' opinions about the characters made me realize some things, and that the player characters should be treating them differently, maybe. So I did add some choices. Sometimes, like, the narrative changed a little bit. Like, someone was complaining that you always love Vita, And then I changed it so, yeah, the protagonist can comment how she hates Vita and things like that.
So
Okay. So it
I
actually did something to the overall story.
I did notice a few times you can side against her whenever someone else is trash talking her. So that's a result of the fans.
I find it very funny that in the beginning of the demo, everyone are trash talking everyone,
Oh,
like just pointing fingers. It's your fault. No, it's your fault.
well, they're all uncomfortable and like,
Yes.
yeah, kidnapped.
We noticed that you have some very, very, very cute charms, Demonheart charms in your coffee shop. Will there be more merch coming soon?
Oh, yes, we have the chibi keychains from the first Demonheart and from the Cursed Trial. And it actually took me a long time to set up that shop to figure out how everything would work. And so we're not planning anything new for now, but maybe like for future games, I don't know.
I don't know, a body pillow of around maybe?
Oh, body pillows.
or I don't know, the Demon Spawn. It would be
the Demon
relatable for
Spawn would be a hit.
all of the games. Like he's everywhere anyways. I don't know. Think
I would
about
have to
it.
do some research.
Yeah, you should. I'm giving you like food for thought here. So we're moving on to the exclusive content question now. You send us in the email a little sketch, and I would love to comment on it. I love it. I love it. It's my boy. Tell me what's going on here. What's the original CG? What's the story behind it? And stuff like that.
So that's an early sketch for a CD of him sitting in front of your house, and he was waiting for you while you were sleeping.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, this is supposed to show you his stalker tendencies, but you may miss it, maybe, but if you think about it, why is he sitting in front of your house? But then again, he's nice. And yeah, it's supposed to show his personality and also his interest in the main character. And in this scene, he offers you his hand to take a walk with him, and you have a mean option to ignore his hand. And we recorded 2 voice lines where he's saying the same thing, but if you didn't take his hand, he sounds disappointed.
Boy.
Oh.
Boy. But I must say that the character sprite is very, very beautiful, and I have a thing for long-haired men, so I don't know. Thank you for sending this our way. It's quite nice.
I want to know, where can fans support your work?
Okay, so all my games are on Steam and itch.io, and it helps if players follow my developer profile called Rolling Crown. So if they follow me on those platforms, they can get announcements about new games. I also have Patreon. I intend to keep posting about new projects in the Demonheart world there. And for anyone who wants to talk about the characters and find other players who have also experienced these games, we have a Discord server.
Okay, so people have options, it seems.
So we're gonna put all of the links in the game page and our website when we're done with the article, so you guys can find it there. Or if you want to add something?
Just going to add, yes, please support the developers, because indie development ain't easy.
And most of the time it's better than AAA. So
yeah, especially nowadays. AAA games ain't doing so hot right now.
Yep, I do prefer indie games as well. So, I guess, Lam, do you have any final thoughts before we end your trial here?
I have something to say to the players that I've said before, but the bad guys in my games are safe because they're fictional. I wrote them, so they really love you. But do not romance bad guys in real life.
So
That's
cute.
very wise advice.
Yes. So, to everyone, if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, share it around, and of course, support Lam and her projects. They're quite nice. Give them a try. Maybe think about a body pillow. I don't know. I'm sorry. And yeah.
And next time, be careful who you trust when you get abducted by a demon spawn. Until next time.